What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So this is making the rounds on social media. So Gilbert Arenas, who has reinvented himself as the premier troll of NBA sports talk, recently stated on the Nightcap, the other podcast that Shannon Sharp has, the one he does with Chad Ochocinco. So recently he had an appearance with Gilbert Arenas, and I think he asked Gilbert, is Kevin Durant a top 10 player? I guess he asked him, what does Kevin Durant need to do to be top 10 all time? And Gilbert Arenas said, well, is Larry Bird top 10? And Shannon said, yeah, or hell yeah. And then he said, well, yeah, Kevin Durant's top 10 because he's better than Bird. And then he said, well, you listen to it for yourself. Let me play the audio from this.
Does KD need to win a title outside of Golden State to crack the top 10?
Is Larry Bird in the top 10?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Then he better than Larry Bird.
I mean, all I know is Larry Bird got 3 consecutive MVPs with 3 titles and 2 finals MVPs. He got them in the era with Magic, Kareem, and Jordan. Now, you told me Jordan ran the 80s, but I know a white guy that could not run a snail.
The 80s was drugged up, right? Them players, you see, I can burn past a crackhead. A crackhead was not hard to get by on it. Half those dudes were trying to hurry up and get to the next fix. I do value his greatness, but KD is a whole nother beast.
So you got him in the top 10 right now?
I got him as the second best small forward ever.
Let me just do something right quick, y'all. I'm so sick of this shit, man. I am. I'm really sick of these dudes. These dudes are working my last nerve. I swear to God they are. They've been working my last nerve, man. Okay. First of all, how is it that one more ring automatically puts Durant in the top 10? How do you figure that? How does he just automatically go into a top 10 player? But Elijah Wan's not in the top 10. Even though he won 2 championships without a super team, KD won with a super team. But that puts KD in the top 10, but somehow Elijah Wan has magically fallen out of the top 10. If this ain't recency bias, I don't know what the fuck is. Okay, I'm tired of this. It's getting on my nerves. Seriously, it's getting on my nerves. This is getting on my nerves, man. You say half the league was drugged up. Okay, yeah, there was a drug problem in the NBA with some of these players. That's true. But technically, wasn't Brett Favre a drug addict himself? But see, it's different when it's a pharmaceutical thing, right? That's different. See, do anybody devalue Brett Favre for being on drugs? Technically, right? But it's different when it's a different person and it's prescription. But when you are drug addicted like Michael Ray Richardson, even though you still were for a long time a functional drug addict and still being an all-star, but they just label you a drug addict. Roy Tarpley, drug addict. John Lucas, drug addict. See what we do? So you have some notable people who had some issues with drugs, and some other ones who were on drugs. So that's what you're doing now. We devaluing total errors. So what about all these motherfuckers playing today that's high as a kite on weed? I mean, KD, all he do is smoke, apparently. Maybe that's why he not aggressive. Maybe that's what's holding him back. All the fucking weed you motherfuckers smoke. Oh my God, man. Let's look at Taylor Tate Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's look at tail of the tape. Kevin Durant, 2-time NBA champion. Let's go Larry Bird. I mean, I already know he's 3-time champion, but I just want to have the comparisons. Kevin Durant, 2-time NBA champion. Larry Bird, 3-time NBA champion. Kevin Durant, 2-time Finals MVP. Larry Bird, 2-time Finals MVP. Durant, 1 MVP. Bird, 3 MVPs. Matter of fact, 3 consecutive MVPs. Kevin Durant, 14-time All-Star. Probably going to be he's that's including this year. 14-time All-Star in 17 seasons. Larry Bird, 12-time All-Star in 13 seasons. The only time he wasn't was the injury year. Same thing with KD, but it was a couple other years that he wasn't an All-Star. Kevin Durant, 2-time All-Star Game MVP. Bird, 1982 All-Star Game MVP. Kevin Durant, 6 times All-NBA First Team. Bird, 9 times All-NBA First Team. Kevin Durant, 4 times All-NBA Second Team. Bird, only 1 All-Defensive Second Team. Durant, Rookie of the Year. Bird, Rookie of the Year. Kevin Durant, no defensive first teams. Bird, 3 all-defensive second teams. Both all-rookie first teams. Durant, 4-time scoring champion. Bird never led the league in scoring. Twice, Durant, a member of the 50-40-90 club. Let's see. Twice, Bird, 50-40-90. Durant, 75th anniversary team. Bird, 50th and 75th anniversary teams. In addition to things that Durant don't have on his resume, although it's in the future for Durant, Bird's number 33 retired by the Boston Celtics. Bird received the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2019, Associated Press Athlete of the Year, and Bird's a 3-time three-point contest winner. Okay. Let's look at the games, all right? Durant is more of a prolific individual scorer, but at the same time, he didn't have to share the basketball consistently with a Kevin McHale and a Robert Parrish and a Danny Ainge. Okay? Danny Ainge was probably giving you 10 to 14 points a night. McHale was giving you 21 to 26 points a game a night when he was a starter, 22 to 26 points a game a night in his peak. And then Robert Parrish, 16 to 19 points a night. So that's a lot of shots taken away from Bird. Yeah, Durant had Russell Westbrook, but other than that, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, in OKC, nobody else is really shooting that many shots. All right? Both about 50% efficiency. Both great three-point shooters. Both great free throw shooters. Durant's more athletic. Durant's bigger. A little bit faster. Bird was a better defender. Bird's a better rebounder. Bird's, I think, a better clutch performer. Bird is a better leader. Bird is a better facilitator. So Durant has more range. I think Bird and him are even as far as mid-range. You could argue Durant's a little bit better three-point shooter because he's more prolific. But I think if you put Larry Bird in today's era, he'd be just as good, if not better, shooter. Bird was considered the best shooter of his era, for the most part. Durant usually is looked at as maybe the second best shooter behind Steph and Waddell Curry. Also, Larry Bird never had to join up with a a super team. They won 73 games. So, I'm sorry. You can't look past that. Okay? You can't look past that. When Durant joined the NBA, the Sonics sucked. He didn't have that instant impact where that team became an instant championship team or championship level team. You're not going to take that away from Larry Bird. I'm sorry. You're just not going to fucking do it. We're not going to rewrite history. Not while I'm still fucking here. You're not going to fucking do this. You're not! Year before Larry Bird went to Boston, they were 29-53. 32 game turnaround to 61 wins. I believe his rookie year they went to the Eastern Conference Finals where they lost to the Sixers. The next year they overcame a 3-1 deficit and were able to make the NBA Finals and win the championship in his second year. Kevin Durant infamously, with Russell Westbrook, blew a 3-1 lead to the Thunder. To the Warriors. Thunder blew a 3-1 lead, lost in 7 to the eventual Western Conference champion Warriors. Then 6 weeks later, Durant infamously joined a super team. Ever since he left that super team, he's been unable to recapture that type of team level greatness. Failed in Brooklyn. Like that's not going to go, like, you know what I'm saying? Failed in Brooklyn. The Boston Celtics clamped his ass. At least when Bird got clamped by the Pistons in 1988, he could blame it on bone spurs. He could blame it on injuries. Where are those great moments for Kevin Durant? All I see is failure from this dude. They're underperforming in Phoenix. This is another point I want to make. I think I already said it before. Why is it that the media, and the media in general, who don't like Giannis, because he has his own mind and wants to do what he wants to do, and they keep punishing him. Why do the Suns keep getting all these fucking passes? Oh, well, we need to... Because remember last year they said, well, we got to wait until next year for this team to gel. We can't expect this team to be a championship team just yet. Okay, fine. This is a whole nother year. They're underperforming again, right? Well, we're going to give this team time. But the Bucks, the minute that Dave got there, they're supposed to win it all immediately. That's the bullshit I'm talking about. And last but not least, this is another point I want to make. Who were Kevin Durant's competition at that position during his career, for the most part? LeBron James, who outside of the Warrior years consistently beat KD, right? Dominated him this year, right? Even though KD's supposed to be on a superior team with all these tremendous scorers. Paul George, Paul Pierce, after 30 years of age, right? Kawhi Leonard. That's about it, right? That's about it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's about it. Larry Bird. Let's look at Larry Bird. Larry Bird had Greg Ballard, who played for the then Washington Bullets. Rodney McRae, most notably of the Rockets. Calvin Nett of the Blazers. Robert Reed of the Houston Rockets. Paul Pressey of the Milwaukee Bucks, Marquise Johnson of the Milwaukee Bucks, Chuck Person of the Pacers, Kelly Tripucka was with the Detroit Pistons. I'm naming the peripheral all-star level and Hall of Fame level guys. The now late Walter Davis of the Phoenix Suns, may he rest in peace. I already said Marquise Johnson. Cedric Cornbread Maxwell, the Boston Celtics. Jamal Wilkes, Bobby Jones, Detlef Shrimp, Kiki Vandeweghe, Larry Nance, Mark Aguirre, David Thompson, although sometimes he played shooting guard, Adrian Dantley, Bernard King, Chris Mullin, Alex English, James Worthy, sometimes George Gervin, Scottie Pippen, sometimes Clyde Drexler will play small forward, Dominique Wilkins, Julius Erving, obviously, Xavier McDaniel. Ooh, who else? Larry Nance. Who am I forgetting? Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting some people. Jerome Kersey. See all these people I'm naming at small forward? Like I said before, Larry Bird had the greatest competition at small forward of any player at that position in NBA history. It's not close. It's not close. And there's other people who I'm just blanking on. Other people that I just can't think of right now off the top of the head. Glenn Rice. There's some other ones I just can't think of. Oh, Dan Roundfeld. The list goes on and on, man. The list goes on and on. I made my point, man. Tell me what you guys think.